Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dicey Dungeon. I've slept since the last recording again. That it was really tired after doing 2, maybe 3 episodes. So I'm assuming the next one we were going to do was an attempt at, I guess, a parallel universe on the Inventor. But I don't think that's really right. I feel like what we did last was the Witch, and we need to do the elimination round on the Jester, so let's do that instead. Now, I need to be obviously better about ending where the next place is going to start, because I'm losing the plot here in between naps. Let's give a loud, slow clap for the Jester, who's going to be so filled with regret. Like, the Jester lines of dialogue here are about the only ones that are even somewhat progressing as far as something. We're just back to the standard way of gameplay, so we don't have to delete cards from our inventory. I don't know if we even can, and I can't help but think that episode 3 for the Jester didn't actually tell us what was up next, which would change how that would play too, certainly. And your real goal here is just to make the best of your cards that you do have, and then make a better deck later on. Of course, in the elimination round, the enemies have upgraded versions of everything. So, I guess we could discard this, and then do this, and we don't even have any more cards, so if you use this to win, and that bring in the last bop, and then I guess that reshuffles at that point, and then you can get more cards there. Juggling ball is good, but you can't just hit a button to get rid of cards, so yeah. If I did anything, maybe I got rid of the bops, but I don't think I permanently got rid of the bops. It says discard matching cards, not delete matching cards, where you would assume that if it was actually deleting them, they would be better about it, informing you about that. Which, I mean, you can do some preparation, I suppose. But yeah, when you have no cards left, it is just empty at that point. So it doesn't inherently benefit you particularly well to go for like a bunch of health refills, particularly right now when I'm about to get the full health refill. Anyways, alright. Detonator would be 2 licorices, which I can't look at, or high voltage pack, which is doing this. And there's just like, add 2 poison for the cost of 2 is what licorice says, and I'm just having to look through the transparency of a card. Or buzzer would inflict 1 shock. I think your high voltage pack is almost certainly better there. So, but yeah, if I had gotten rid of 3 matching boops, we wouldn't have had that. So an even number to do 1 shock, and an even number to do a shock, and then return the dice if the enemy is shocked, and do lightning damage. It's a pretty good setup. Now, obviously there's a mimic there to probably the direct left, but that would lead to health, so it is better to just move. And on the Mimic case, you can't move past it either. I'm surprised that you don't actually fight the Mimic the second you step on the platform. The Mimic kind of has an art style that is not too different from the... What is the name of that game? It was very, like, popular and talked about quite a bit. It was super hard. Cuphead. The Cuphead art style, which at a certain level, I guess the Cuphead art style itself is reminiscent of 1950s cartoons. One thing about cartoons in particular is that even like early Bugs Bunny cartoons really came out originally in theaters, and people, or the next generation that watched them, didn't realize that they were watching reruns. Alright. So he has only one mystery box, contents upgraded. If I shock it twice, that won't really even do anything for me. So best bet is to, I guess, just get health. I could use Snap, and like Snap with matching cards can be used for free this turn. Interesting. Didn't realize that's what Snap did. So I could have played better. So does he just have a different item each time? It seems like that is the case. Okay. So you activate that. Why did that not work? Magic Spear do 14 damage, wow. Well, that's crazy and unfair. Okay, Snap there. And then Shock there. 1 damage and get that back. So then once you snap, you have to press Y to activate it. I see. And then we'll just do that. And do that. And we won. But I am in a bad position, certainly, with health. Would I want bump? Or do I want only matching cards? Bump is such an easy one to play, though. It would kind of make no sense to not do that. And upgrading is only upgrading, like upgrading that's probably not that useful. So we gotta get kind of lucky here and not take a massive amount of damage, where it seems like he could very easily do a lot of damage. Okay, boop, boop, boop is the next thing. So, bumping up this to 3 is probably not a bad idea. Doing 3 damage, not a bad idea. Doing that. We probably should just play the dice here. Because if I get to snap next turn and did all three at the same time, does that really change much? Not really. Wow, that was a lucky roll on my part. So let's discard. I guess get sweets since we can't do anything else, and then just get sweets again since we can't do anything else. 4 damage that time. Right. Max 3 damage. Then 2 damage. And then again, it's probably just smarter to keep on playing. I can't help but feel like the game might be cheating in my favor. And yeah, almost certainly it has been cheating in my favor in some cases, but it never feels like it cheats enough to just let you pull off that miracle win so you don't end up... Yeah, I'll ignore the dice cannon. Finale card. Place every card in a single turn to use. I'm gonna take this because it says it's a finale card, but I don't... Is that just like the only finale card that exists? Do 2 damage, reusable. Alright. There's an achievement for playing the finale card, at least we'll do it here. Being a finale card, perhaps there is a case here where you only get that card as the final card, and maybe that would make some sense, really. Alright, well, let's bump this up to a 6, and then inflict a shock. If we can zap the sneeze, that'd be great. So it might very well come down to a case where you can only get this finale card at the very end of your deck. It's always the last card, and then you just never see it, and then it becomes its own special thing because of that. Let's do that. Well, I guess do that. It's not worth it to do too much more. Like if I snap now and then activate the 2 bops, I win, or I could just save the snap for the next turn, next fight. Noticeably, one problem with this game is that there's really nothing that happens in between fights, which that would make a lot of sense if there was more between fights. Like we could get rid of maybe duplicating a dice. That's one thing we could get rid of. And then it becomes like a really difficult argument to destroy any more cards. So I'm actually going to take the hammer and just make more of a lightning build. it doesn't make a lot of sense to get rid of the boops or the bops the way this plays. Getting rid of the bump, maybe. Hammer and high voltage, technically. Juggling ball, technically. If you just want a deck full of duplicates. Play every card in a single turn to use. Okay. Looking at this again, it's, I guess, probably a better argument that I should have destroyed more cards. Alright. So I will take that learned information and hopefully be better. Shock. 1, return the dice. Bump this to a 6. Do this to inflict shock. Alright. See, this is where it's going to get crazy with the snaps, and that would really be the only way you would possibly play all of this, is that you would have had to been able to do something else. Next one is Dice Cannon. So I do see how that works, but I didn't make it to that point, nor did I win this turn, which is kind of shocking. Well, it certainly doesn't make any sense to unburn the dice and take 2 damage, or try to go for another round. 1 damage to get a new dice. I'm gonna add it to the deck, even though I just said we probably need to get rid of this. Like, logically, the move here would be to try and have a 2 dice cannons, which you probably can't even have if I was to guess. Yeah, but if you had 2 dice cannons and you had a snap unlock, then you could probably just reuse the dice cannon over and over again, because they were matching cards at that point. We'll do that, and we'll buzz, and then we'll do that. Get a new dice. We can do this and return the dice. We can do dice value up, I suppose. This and get new dice. Nothing here is lining up particularly well. We've shocked 2, so there's no good argument to shock anymore. I could get 2 sweets here and use the snap and then fill my health twice, or I can just do that and then in the turn. The other problem certainly here is, as far as trying to activate a finale card, is going to come down to oops. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do this. do this. Your snap ability here really wouldn't even work particularly well if you didn't know what was coming up. Inventor, copy next card. Interesting. Well, I'll take the inventor as an option, and then that lets us get a copy of the finale, but we very possibly will never get that set up, nor will we have boss fights that are just like super long. And that's one of the things that makes itself kind of obvious here, is that you just don't run into boss fights where they have 100, 200, 300 health, where some kind of strategy or craziness would actually be necessary. Let's see. Get rid of that one. And then we'll buzzer and do that. And see, now we have like inventor, which yeah. You would have to get this. You have to be very, very lucky to pull this off. Let's see. Or I just have to delete a lot of cards. Yeah, if I had one more dice, which I guess I would have gotten through leveling up, then I could do that. So I think the way this sets up, though, is I'm going to have to keep the inspiration card in the left-hand side, which it doesn't matter what side it's in, and then just try to get back to dice cannon in the next turn, then use it. Arguably, the finale card, or this specific finale card, is not even that useful. Let's see. Bump this up. Do 4 damage. On 6, inflict 1. Let's see. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. We're now at a snap because of thorns, so we'll activate it. Which odds are low that I can do anything there. I was thinking the finale card really was going to be closer to something that would just do 999 damage. But it kind of doesn't seem like that is the case. Or, well, it's pretty obvious that it's not the case. Okay, inflict 1 shot. Do this. Do this. I guess if you do this, then you can discard that. Then you can discard that. And that doesn't really do anything for you because you have to go through all the cards and I don't have any dice, so discarding a whole bunch of cards just to get the finale card in your collection, I guess maybe that does make some sense. Let's see, activate this quickly, do 3 damage there. Then I guess we'll do 3 damage there. Heal 2. Let's see. Just do that and win. Didn't really have any other options. Okay. So almost certainly we want to destroy cards then. Let's just destroy things that don't match and don't give us a dice back. So we'll get rid of that. If we can get a bunch of things that give us dice back, that's fine. If we can have things that match, that's fine. Now theoretically having just a bunch of boops instead of boops and bops would be better. Getting rid of a bump is not a big deal. Having just 2 buzzers kind of sucks. So yeah. In general, I guess I'm just looking for less cards in totality, which would make it certainly harder to think about getting rid of things. Yeah, and I don't know if there's any card I really want to upgrade at this point. Let's go this direction, because that works as well as anything else. Alright. And we will just discard like a madman. Turn the dice. Get a new dice. Do that. Discard that. Okay. Inspiration. Oh man, that was not what I thought it was going to be. And we'll use the finale card just so we get the achievement of using a finale card, which I just did. And there's kind of nothing super special about it. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping I take enough damage here to get to snap, but I also really shouldn't be hoping that I take damage. Noticeably, the cannon is gone too. In fact, my whole hand somehow has shuffled. You can bump for a 1 there. Interesting. So we'll get Inventor again, but honestly, Inventor may not be as useful as it needs to be. It seems like you would have to get the hand cannon right to the right of it as far as the next card. Which maybe means in this third position it doesn't do anything. That is an interesting thought, certainly. But in that third position, it's not likely you would ever pull the inventor card as the second to last thing. Yeah, I just don't know if this is going to work. Yeah, now is really not the time to use the snap. They are doing a lot of damage to me. Okay. Juggling ball. This is probably the one I want to re-roll. Let's activate snap and then activate snap. Interesting. Let's go ahead and put the 5 here. And then activate snap and win. Yeah, there really isn't even a scenario here where you have a high chance of setting this up. You can't copy the finale card. Interesting. Which then, I guess we could copy the next card and have double inventor cards, which would give you duplicates when you're snapping, because obviously that would be more useful. And I suppose since this is going to copy cards and that's going to synergize with your item, copying that makes more sense than doing anything else. And then 2 high voltages and a spark. And we'll try and get rid of the spark. Are we in a better position where we would like to upgrade something? Or should we still just think about it? I think we should probably just think about it. It makes all the sense in the world to do this fight first and get to the food. Okay. Heal this turn. Then just like copy the buzzer to, I guess, maybe get rid of that, which is just gonna bring you a bump. Well, I suppose if I really get this to work, I could get that hand cannon. Let's see. Dice cannon. And then do 3 damage on this. But yeah, what's the point? So we have Sweets, High Voltage, and Dice Cannon. We're going to end the turn. Dice Cannon is going to be gone. And everything else is probably going to be changed. So what was the point of working towards that goal when it doesn't set you up well? We are now, I guess we have Sweets, High Voltage, and Bop, so we didn't lose the other 2 items. Interesting. So we'll do that. Then just discard that. And then do that. shock. And then that way we can get our dice back. And honestly, I don't know if it isn't just smarter to keep your dice here, like this, and have matches in case you snap the next turn, if I even survive the next turn. Which you could just do, roll 2 5s, and, or even 2 4s, and poison me. And then we are up next, high voltage juggling ball and boop. Does that change each turn, and do you reshuffle each turn? I bet you do. Yeah, I've just lost. We did use a finale card, but all that really taught me is don't use finale cards. They're at least that one wasn't particularly good. That unlocks the Keymaster, favorite food artichoke, pomegranate coconut, karaoke go-to locked out of heaven, 6 things you couldn't live with, ball pick, decoder pick, half diamond pick, hook pick, rake pick, tension wrench, reasons for entering the dungeons, where are you gonna find better lockstone pick than a real live dungeon? So he's a lock picker, which is almost oddly contrasting the idea of being a key master who actually has all the keys to something. There is seemingly no other achievement here that would synergize with the finale dice, so I wouldn't really see a reason to do that multiple times. Normally I would just give up, but I am willing to try again on this case. Let's silently welcome back the Jester. I wonder how it feels for them to fight the brave dungeon creatures who for so long were their friends and allies. There might be a case here where I should focus on just getting all 6 episodes done with one character, and that way I am in just like a much better position. That, do that, and it really doesn't make any sense to not do that. Maybe it does make some sense though. Had I opened up 2 spots for the next turn, maybe there would have been something like that would have made sense there. Why aren't you the little tryhard? Right. So juggling ball, do 1 damage, get new dice. You know what? Let's just ignore it. Let's just actively try to have the smallest amount of cards possible and work on an assumption that we will succeed by getting a finale card every time in this kind of run. Yeah, and here it's kind of unlikely he's gonna activate my snap, but I'll be darned he did. Although, does it really even matter? Like, you activate your snap here, you get a couple of health, and then you're gonna win and get full health anyways. Snowflake. Or Spark. Do I want to freeze dice or do I want to burn dice? I think burning dice makes more sense. And then it is just going to come down to one last option to decide whether we really want to leave that card, and I guess we will. Alright, next fight. Okay. So you burn a dice and toss the boops because they are the weakest things. And then burn another dice and toss the health because we're at full health. And then Flame Blast probably takes more than 5 to activate, but let's see. Nope, Flame Blast literally only takes 4. Good. So 12 damage. And doing that sets you up for the next turn. We have no burning now, so that would not do anything for us. We can get rid of the boops. We can do this. And we can burn 1 dice, which honestly wouldn't do anything, so let's just wait till the next turn. And giving them another turn really does allow for like massive amount of extra damage to be done. And let's just try and win here. 1 dice, and then that. Let's see. Cauldron card also. And yeah, let's go ahead and destroy. As crazy as it may sound, Flame Blast. Well, let's actually not destroy it yet, because we may be better off just going with a flame damage focused theme, because there obviously feels like there is a bit of a subset of items that are offered to you. Let's see. Extra damage here, or just burning dice on any card. Because, yeah, it's fairly apparent that when the game wants you to do a fire-themed run, it offers you fire-themed cards. When it wants you to do a different kind of run, it offers you something different. Can't play this one, so best case scenario would be to do this, then do this, then this, and then this. And you can't snap with the flame burst, and we don't have enough dice. Noticeably in that previous run too, it didn't seem like we were really upgrading the number of dice we were getting, which that would definitely change things quite a bit if I had managed to just get 4 dice instead of 3. We ended up with a duplicate. And yeah, we will take Dice Cannon just because it's better to have something than to not have something. And then that is going to leave us with I guess going with a fire theme or destroying 2 cards. Let's do this fight first, and then we'll make that decision. Right. Duplicate a card. It's not a bad move. Do that. Do that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And then we have Dice Cannon, which, yeah. Is that really the best you can do? Is just 1 extra damage with 1 extra dice. Definitely feels like the goal is to use the finale card once, not to rely on it in any way. Unless there's a way to trade out for a better finale card, which I'm not sure there are any better finale cards. Get rid of that. 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 At this point, I think you have to play something. So you do that. Oops. I guess I could have done better. Could have kept the 6, duplicated the 6, and gotten the Flame Blast set up for the next turn. It's funny how the wizard's spells upgrade so that you teleport sword spell is just an odd and Hall of Mirrors is just an even, where it would have been a 2 and a 6 before. Alright. Duplicate that. And really don't have any other options, so just do that. And that, and take no damage, and be happy with that success. Okay. So decisions. Do we want a cauldron? No. Could we have had 2 cauldrons at this point? Possibly. What are we getting rid of? I think we're getting rid of... Well, as crazy as it may sound, getting rid of bops may be your better bet, because at least 2 always is playable, where 3 with a minimum of 3 isn't. Duplicating a dice is not a problem, and I guess I want to keep Flame Blast. So guess that means we want to do this, and then get rid of 1 bop. Then we have to make some really hard decisions as far as upgrading duplicate or allowing spark to always work. I don't think there's really value in that. So yeah, upgrading spark so it just always works on any dice is the closest thing we can do to actually getting another dice. We don't need that. If we do this, we can do that. We now have Spark Plus. If we do this, we can do that. And the general idea is we're just trying to get to the Flame Blast ready for the next turn. Let's see. I guess it isn't reshuffling the cards so much, is it? Because that was the exact same layout as before. Okay. So, part of the problem here is if I do this, it will inflict 1 burn. And since I don't have any other dice, it probably makes the most sense to just do 6 damage here. Yeah, I definitely am feeling the burn, as it were, as far as having too few dice. And see, in this next turn, unless I was going to get a ridiculous amount of extra things, you snap here to win. Here we will do a triple snap, which will do 2, 4, 6 damage and win. And you'd think there might be an achievement for doing a triple snap, but no such luck. Bumping the value of a card, well, would be another way to play a card without playing a card. Why would you buy a bump in particular? Yeah, I don't think you would. Right. Burn that. Get rid of that. Guess we'll do 3 fire damage and do 6 damage there. And that's the best we could do. We're obviously going to go a little long today because I'm trying 2 runs, and these runs overall have always been a little bit more than 30 minutes. A little bit longer than I'd like them to be. I guess there is no guaranteed time as far as how long each run would be. Okay. Do this. Do this. Do this. And then end the turn. Okay. That allows me to activate my snap now and get some health back. And then we'll win. Oh, I guess I didn't really even need health. Well, I guess if we're getting rid of bop cards, taking the warrior doesn't make any sense. So we'll take the inventor. Doesn't seem like you get any other options. And I guess we'll just take this next fight. Yeah, at a certain level, I'm not sure you ever get anything different from the options. Here. Spark. I guess you could potentially wrap around here as you focus on trying to make a fire deck and have Spark and Whip ready for the next turn when there would be a new shuffle where you could get the flame attack again. Flame, whatever that big fire attack is. Do that. Duplicate that. that. And then use Inventor to literally get rid of something. Yeah, 6 damage now probably is better. And yeah, that was a mistake because now we just have Dice Cannon for no reason. Really feels like the finale card should be doing massive amounts higher of damage. Yeah. But we'll do that. And then we'll take 2 health and do that. Okay. Is there something more we would like to get rid of? Silly as it seems, like we'll just stay committed to getting rid of bop cards. As long as you, I guess, don't have the too few cards, you're in a fine position. Burn, burn. We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll skip those. We'll do that. And that's as good as we could do, so whatever. His upgraded bop will does 5. Okay. Burn. Get rid of that. Hey, sure. We'll duplicate that. And I guess it only makes sense to just activate that. And yeah, there's no reason to get rid of sweets this turn. We'll probably take enough damage. Well, actually we won't take any damage this turn. In fact, oddly, he didn't even try to heal himself. Well, it does put us in a weird position, certainly, as far as how we should play this. Guess we'll just do that, and do that, and then do that. 7 health gets us exactly back to 36. Duplicating Inventor, duplicating duplicate. Duplicate, even if you had 2 duplicates, probably just give you 2/6. Duplicating Flame Blast, so that there was 2 of them that would activate. Probably is your best bet, because we keep having to stick with it anyways. And then more sparks is exactly what we would like. And then possibly upgrading, let's see, another spark, probably what you would want to be upgraded. But let's wait. And then I guess you'll get more options fighting this guy first, so let's fight her. Non-gender specific guy reference there. Okay, even, and then a 4. Okay. We can pull that off. And then just end the turn and we'll snap next turn. Okay. So, limit break, burn 2 dice. Spark is coming back, so then let's get rid of one of these 3s, I guess. Burn 4 dice. Get health. Duplicate. Or get a boop. I think you probably just win here. Grr, one day I'll beat you. And hey, could you take another message to my kid? Could you tell him to remember that Gardner is not our colleague and he's not allowed, that the gardener is our colleague and he's not allowed to eat him. Thanks. Okay. For 3 I could buy a bump to increase my attack. Would I want to buy a bump? Though. No, it does just kind of seem like we are going to stick with this fire build and stick with a very small number of items. Okay. 6 and burn. And let's see, I guess copy the boop to get rid of the boop. So then I guess what we want to probably do is this to get rid of that. So now we've got like flame burst set up nicely and flame blast set up nicely. So if we take a massive amount of damage here, which we really wouldn't, unless he rolls very well, we could snap next turn and activate a bunch of stuff. Let's see. So, even here, the burner dies. Even. Oh. We will do this to burn another dice. And then do 12 damage. Which he was weak to, which just had us win. Alright, so we have different options here. Get random equipment or borrow equipment. I guess Thief is probably better in this case because borrowing equipment that would be upgraded does kind of make some sense. Duplicating any dice as an upgrade might be a limitation worth getting rid of, considering how we have so many spark cards anyways. And duplicating a dice also would give us an even card. And we can't destroy anything, so we do have to just move on to the next floor. On to the Kraken. There might be a rotten apple in this fight on this floor. Okay. Do that. Get rid of that. Do that. Am I going to take a lot of damage next turn? Probably not. But I would like to see if I could possibly get Snap going and then activate my Snap on these 4 count cards Oh man, that is exactly the wrong button that I meant to press. Well, I just screwed myself over there. Alright, well. Would have been way smarter to have done 12 damage. And yeah, I'm not going to take enough damage per turn to ever really do anything here. Let's see. Yoink. Gives overwhelming plus, which again, maybe we'll see what happens next turn, whether the yoink stays for that whole time. Nope, the yoink goes away, so there is definitely an argument to have not picked it up at all. Okay. So I want to do this. Then I want to do this. Then I want to activate Snap. And let's see what happens here. They all get 4s, and they all did some amount of damage, but I think the amount of damage that they actually did was 0. So I think that actually worked very poorly for me. Yoink. Next one's gonna be Boop, so cursing is probably the better move. But we can't do that, so do that. Do that. And that just sets us up for a duplicate next turn. Okay. Get rid of that. What are the odds that this would be a 6? It's pretty low. So do I want to burn dice, or do I want to try something different? 2, 3. Heal. Bop. Spark or sweets. Okay, so I'm gonna end it here in the hope that I could get some fire damage, and I guess I'm hoping also that I would get a snap, but that's a bad hope to have. Unfortunately, it's a hope that was fulfilled. Okay. The fact that the Y button does everything sucks. It just doesn't particularly work out well. You accidentally hit the button too often. 8 health here. 8 health here. Another 8 health here. The only thing that we have offered here is copying an item. So steal this an odd to lock a dice. It's probably not a terrible thought. Lock 2 dice. It's not a bad thought. And then do 2 damage. Since we don't have anything else we can do. Get rid of that. We can do 1 burn damage now. Or we could do this. And then this. And then this. And then this. Interesting. So next turn we could potentially duplicate the duplicate, get more cards that way, work. Oops. What happened there? Oh, well, we have the duplicate anyways. That didn't change too much, I just hit the A button on accident. Alright. The duplicate only lasted 1 turn though. Well, that sucks. Duplicate that. That. We have to burn 1 dice before we could even pull anything up. I think it's best to probably do that at that point. And we very possibly are going to get Snap this next turn, as he does massive amounts of damage. Honestly, Snap is about the only thing here that would save the day, because outside of that, I am in a bad position. Oh, fortunately he was weak to fire, so that saved the day. So what would we want to copy? Duplicate a duplicate, or what would even make sense? Just like 1 more spark. Upgraded sweets. If I copied a Spark Plus, I'll just copy a Flame Blast. And yeah, I didn't really have to make that decision. At that point, I could have tried for something different, but I don't think I'm going to end up with too much more. Okay. Burner dice. And burner dice. And then we'll get rid of the boops. And we'll end the turn there. Burning would probably be a little overpowered if it stuck around multiple turns, like poison does. Okay. So I'd kind of need a snap and a 6 roll in the next turn. Which didn't get either one of those. Okay. If I do this 2 here, and oh man, was not planning ahead in that. Well, this puts me in a weird position. I have a lot of damage I just took. Okay. Do this to start with a burning dice. Then activate snap. Then activate this. And then I guess activate this. And activate this. I can't help but feel like the game is working with me to make me win. Inventor on sweets, so that we can do that and do 2 6s. Interesting. Didn't quite get me as far as I would like, because I was hoping to actually win this turn. But I have a chance here. Not a great chance though. I mean, it could really still like do a lot of damage to me. Yeah. I'm down to exactly 1 health. I can't help but feel like that was programmed. Okay. Spark here. 3 damage here. 6 here. Jeez, like nothing gets us there. Yep, this is going to be the end of the episode. There's just nothing I could have done unless he rolls really unlucky. And I just have, like, he can't do anything. He would need to roll basically a 2. So yeah, once again, I think this just highlights that there's maybe a little too much randomness around all of this. And it's hard to really stick with trying these levels when you're going to fail 3, 4, 5 times potentially before you succeed once. If anything, most games would have had an easy mode that you would play and then unlock a normal mode or a hard mode. The idea of things being so random at the beginning just doesn't have a good smooth progress of easy portions of the game and difficulty spikes where you might have a little bit of challenge. Ideally, you would want a sloped line in which there are parts where it feels a little too easy, or feels a little challenging, feels a little too easy, feels a little challenging, going back and forth like that every few minutes or so. So you feel like you're making good progress, but overall the difficulty is actually going up and the player is getting better at playing the game. Am I getting better at playing this game? No, because everything was put out flat at the beginning. There's very little strategy you're playing here. It's very random. Now, it is a dice-based game, so you would have known from the beginning that there was a large amount of randomness to it anyways, and at a certain point, like, it's actually quite laughable to try to even add any kind of strategy to dice-based games. The random element is just too high, whereas a pure strategy game would ideally not have any randomization at all, and it would be something much closer to chess, where the pawn always takes the pieces it can take, and there's never like a dice roll when a pawn attacks to see if it wins. That being said, I have in the past often thought that digital video game versions of chess might be more fun and interesting if they were closer to something like Battle Chess in their animation and a little bit more randomized as far as whether or not they really did win or not. That there would be some more risk to it, but that takes away from the strategy, and people who actually care about chess and have ratings and spend a lot of time learning to be professional chess players would hate that almost certainly. So at this point, I guess we're going to do parallel universes across the board, and if there is a parallel universe we've already done, we'll jump ahead and do the bonus round and see what that's like. If I could get the bonus round done for the thief in particular, who I think we could just look here. Yeah. If we get the bonus round done with the thief, and then that all of a sudden unlocks something, like a new card or a power-up or something that would just increase the odds of success for all the other characters, that'd be great. That is where games like Binding of Isaac really succeed very well. Or even Rogue Legacy, which goes about it a different way. In Binding of Isaac, you accomplish something, often something fairly hard, and you get a new item that is in the random pool of items you could get, like the equipment you use in this game, and that new item is almost always of a newer, higher, better class than the items that were available originally when you first started the game. Rogue Legacy goes about it in a different way, in that every time you die, you have a certain amount of gold you've collected from the previous run, and that gold lets you directly decide whether you're going to unlock new abilities, new character classes, or just upgrade your equipment or your skills. Dicey Dungeons has no roguelike elements, it seems, at all. Although it does seem like some items unlock when you play specific episodes. Going back and playing episode 1 seems like it would be exactly the same as when you first played it, when you first started the game. I would have preferred more of a roguelike element, something to unlock here. A reroll, an increase in the number of dice that every player has. Anything like that would be really helpful. Just the ability, though, to continue would have been so helpful. One of the things I'm going to try and commit to doing going forward to is, if I know I'm going to lose, I'm just going to run away. Let's just see what happens there. Maybe that would reset my health back to before the fight started and give us a second chance. I haven't been taking advantage of running away, even though that is an option. Typically in games, you never actually run away, even if it is an option. But who knows, that might be the continue that I'm looking for. Although it would just have been a lot nicer if you had lost and then it had made a checkpoint and continued to that point. I guess there is an argument to also be made that I won't make right now, because this wrap-up is taking too long, about games having checkpoints and how many games, or pretty much all games these days, have checkpoints and autosaves. So when you die, you go back just a little bit in progress, and you lose such a small amount of progress that it's easy to forget that you died in the first place. A lot of times I'll play a game and then kind of have the general feeling that I played it without dying even once. A lot of times when I do play games and I'm paying attention, I will notice I've died 4 or 5 times throughout the entirety of certain games, whereas the death or the win to loss ratio here has been fairly high. In this case, we're hitting approaching 50%, and for a single player game to potentially lose half the time is not fun. you really would want to be at a 90% win ratio if you can. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.